Welcome back to the Sun Bowl. I'm Andy Morgan alongside Trevor Vidito. It's the 96th meeting of the Battle of I-10 as New Mexico State leads UTEP 10-7 with 13-12 remaining in this first quarter, with the UTEP offense taking over at the 24-yard line. That's Kyle Loxley at quarterback. Two receivers to the top of the screen. The give is going to go to Trayvon Hughes. Hughes breaks a tackle and he's out across the 35 and just tripped up at the 40-yard line. Good looking run there by Hughes. Was able to slip a tackle and come up with yards after contact.
Well, the great thing to see about Trayvon Hughes here, like you said earlier in the season, he started out as a running back when he came to college. He switched into the defensive side of the ball, and it's good to see him back on the offense, getting opportunities to make some carries and get a big breakout run there.
It's a pickup of 17 for the linebacker turned running back, and he's going to get the call again, and tough running once again for Hughes. Looked to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage, able to push forward, maybe a pickup of 3 there on the play, and that's what you get with the guy that played linebacker for this UTEP defense, now switching back to running back. He's thick and he can break some tackles and not afraid of contact.
Well, that's definitely the big thing about him, is he's got a lot of size to him, and Trayvon Hughes is one of those guys that can run between the tackles and bring some pop behind his pads when someone comes in to make a tackle. You like to see that with the zone read with Kyle Loxley. He can break around the outside and break away those long runs.
Trips to the top of your screen. Loxley has the snap. Good blitz pick up there from Hughes as Loxley's going to take a shot down the field, and he's got Keenan Foster there. Good looking play for this UTEP offense. They've been waiting for a big pickup through the air, and it's Foster who's able to come up with the reception. A big play there as Kyle Loxley able to get the block there from Hughes and finds Keenan Foster on the big pickup.
He has a lot of patience here in the pocket. He makes his read. He feels a little pressure, resets his feet, and makes a good, accurate throw down the sideline. A big offensive play for the UTEP Miners here to get them into the red zone, which they've had a lot of success here early on in the season with their red zone efficiency.
Pickup of 43 on the play. Sets up a 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Loxley is going to call his own number, and Loxley very patient there. You saw the patient running, didn't hit the hole too fast, and is able to follow a couple blocks and gets a good-looking pickup there on 1st down, a gain of 5.
There's a lot of these gun organized run plays that they call to be able to get him the ball and get it in his hands. He's an athlete that can make things happen with his feet. When you have the defense who has to also set up to try and stop the quarterback run, which is an extra offensive player essentially, it makes it tough on defense. And right now UTEP seems to be gashing on play after play for a little over 6 yards per carry.
Winston Dimmel in the backfield, and the give is going to go to Dimmel, the 3-time All Big 12 selection there at Kansas State, the son of head coach here at UTEP, Dana Dimmel, who also came from Kansas State. Dimmel and his son Winston, a graduate transfer coming over here to UTEP, and anytime you can get a guy that is a 3-time All Big 12 selection, you can do a lot of things with an offense. He's like a wrench in this offense.
Well, definitely. He came from Kansas State with his father, where he definitely understands this offense, and you can get him in there, line him up in different positions. Like we saw earlier, he actually took a snap from the center in the gun run.
Big 3rd and 5. Loxley fakes the run and is going to look outside. He's got the completion there to Terry Janelle. Going to be close to a 1st down, but appears to be just short. And UTEP is going to send on the field goal unit. What'd you see there, Trevor? It looked like UTEP saw what they want, but ends up running a route just shy of the 1st down marker, and now they're forced to kick a field goal.
Well, they're trying to switch it up, and I think New Mexico State knows coming into the game that UTEP has not completed a touchdown pass this season just yet. We've got 5 touchdowns in the season thus far for the UTEP Miners, all 5 coming on the ground.
Jason Philly on to attempt the field goal, and his kick is through the uprights, and UTEP has tied this game at 10. A good-looking drive for the Miners as they are able to respond to that New Mexico State field goal early in the 1st quarter. Ties it up here at 10 with 9:24 remaining in the 2nd quarter. welcome you back to the Sun Bowl as UTEP able to tack on a field goal and tie this game up at 10 with 9:24 remaining in the first quarter. And it's been a UTEP offense who has been pretty much inept in the first 3 games of the season, but get this, already 178 total yards. That matches, in fact, exceeds the number that they were able to put up against Tennessee. Of course, Tennessee and SEC power, but maybe not the Tennessee of old that we're used to seeing in the SEC. UTEP showing some signs of life here offensively, able to tie this game at 10 with that scoring drive from Kai Loxley in the offense.
Well, it's good to see that they're having some success here offensively in the first half. And if you look overall at the season, they've only had about 250 yards per game of offense, and they're just shy of that here already, close to the end of the second quarter.
Huntley getting the carry, bouncing it outside, and breaks a tackle and is out across the 30-yard line to the 31, a gain of 6 on the play for Huntley, who is a guy that can do it all. He can run between the tackles. He's also a guy that's extremely dangerous in the open field. Had that big kick return against Utah State in the Arizona Bowl last year. Atkins in the gun, 2 backs to each side, and the give is going to go to Gibson. And Gibson powers his way to the 33-yard line, going to be just short of a first down. So you set your young quarterback, Josh Atkins, a young redshirt freshman, in a 3rd and manageable. That's what head coach Doug Martin, that's what he wants to see from his offense.
Well, you don't want to put too much pressure on someone that you feel like the weight of the offense and moving the chains is on his shoulders, and they've done a great job offensively with their play calling to keep him in these 3rd and short opportunities, to have him make a simple read, get the ball out of his hands, not feel the pressure, and be able to make this offense move down the field.
Doubles. And the give is going to go Gibson, and Gibson somehow is able to break the tackle. He's out across the 50-yard line, 1 man to beat, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds inside the 30-yard line all the way down to the UTEP 27. Not sure he was able to get it through that first line of defense, but a big pickup there for New Mexico State on 3rd down all the way to the 27. Big pickup of 39 on the play.
39 yards for Gibson right here. That's great vision and great patience by him, because it looked like at the beginning of the play may have been shut down, takes a little step back, makes a little juke moves, and breaks out around the corner.
Gibson already with 88 yards rushing on just 5 carries in this game. New Mexico State up over 125 yards of rushing in this game as Atkins looks, and what a play there by Nick Needham. He was looking for Jonathan Boone on the play, and Nick Needham able to make a break, comes straight back, and is able to come up with the breakup.
Well, I think with that pass breakup there, that sets Nick Needham up for the #1 spot for the UTEP Miners in overall career pass breakups. So that's a great opportunity to see him setting the pace there with pass breakups and making a great play there on the outside.
Nick Needham, and trenching himself into the UTEP record books, that is. Great looking defensive back for this UTEP team, as the give is going to go to Huntley, and Huntley, good looking run, able to bounce it outside and is inside the 20-yard line, but you got flags. And you heard it there from the referee. Eddie Shelton is our referee today, holding on the offense. That's going to push him back 10 yards, and it wipes out a gain of 7 there for Huntley.
Both of these teams offensively very similar up to the point right now in the game, and being able to do these run-pass options and pick up 6, 7, and 8 yards early on in these downs.
So it sets up a 2nd and 20 inside 7:30 to play in the half. Atkins looking across the middle, and a diving outstretch there, and was he able to come up with the play? He was. Good looking play there for the New Mexico State Aggies, and now you got another official coming in saying no, he did not catch the ball. It was O.J. Clark trying to come up with the diving catch, could not come up with it.
It was a great effort there by O.J. Clark on the play. The throw was a little bit inaccurate, a little bit more inside, but he lays out trying to help his quarterback out to make a big play there. And that definitely would have put him in a 3rd and short situation there to have a better opportunity at converting this 3rd down. But here we are, 3rd and 20. Let's see what this young quarterback can do. Protect the ball, push it down the field if you have an opportunity. But if you can pick up 10, 12, 14 yards here on this play, you're going to set yourself up for an opportunity for a field goal.
Yeah, maybe look for a bubble screen or perhaps a screen pass to Gibson, who is lined up to his make that Huntley, but you got penalty flags, and it's going to be a false start in the offense. So push him back another 5 yards. Nah, it really set you back. Or 3rd and 25.
Definitely not what you want to do when you're already in scoring position and you go the opposite way, 15 yards.
And they're going to run a read option there, and you got another stoppage in play. It looks like New Mexico State might have taken a timeout before this play. Let's check in with Shelton.
Ball start. Offense. Players were set for the snap. 5-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
No timeout. Another penalty flag on this New Mexico State offense, and you've gone from having a 3rd and 20, now it's 3rd and 30 all the way back nearly to midfield, and now you're just looking for maybe an inside carry here. It is, and New Mexico State just putting them in a position where they're just going to punt away the football. That was Royce Caldwell on the carry. Is the Aggies really put themselves back there behind the chains.
Well, there's not many plays that you have in your playbook going into each week that you have set up for a 3rd and 30. You know, at that point, take and get as many yards as you can. Try and play the field position game and see if your punter can't pin them inside the 10-yard line right here.
Peyton Theisler on the punt for New Mexico State. It's Terry Junil back deep at his own 10-yard line to receive the punt, and more penalty flags. Saw a lot of this in the Rio Grande rivalry when New Mexico State.
Snap. Ball start. Offense. Number 43. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
There you see the call from Eddie Shelton, so another 5-yard penalty on New Mexico State. A lot of penalties in that Rio Grande rivalry when New Mexico State matched up with New Mexico, something a head coach is not going to be happy with at the end of the game, and this drive for New Mexico State has been ridden with penalties. Theisler has the punt away. It's going to hit at the 12, roll inside the 10-yard line, and going to be downed at the 8-yard line. That is where UTEP will take over with 6:35 remaining in the first half. We're all knotted at 10. UTEP with some ground to cover as they take over at their own 8-yard line. Score tied at 10 with 6:35 remaining in the half as the give goes to Quadres Wadley, and Wadley has a nice pickup out across the 20-yard line. And it's going to give UTEP a first down just like that, a pickup of 12 for Wadley.
Good way to start your drive there. You're backed up in your own end zone. Take something easy, just like an inside run right there. Pick up a good amount of yards. You've got yourself in a better position. Now you can open up your playbook a little bit more here on first down, and you're outside the 20-yard line already.
Both of these teams with almost identical numbers running the football. 132 yards rushing for New Mexico State, 133 yards rushing for UTEP.
Looks like they're bringing some field pressure right here. Man-to-man on the top side of your screen, bringing some pressure off the edge.
The Aggies do blitz, and Wadley has nowhere to go as New Mexico State, it's Billy Nip making the play in the backfield.
Not much you can do when you're having to run away from the pressure and there's an extra guy off of the edge and you don't have anyone to block him. He just runs it down from the backside. Great play by Nip right there. 2nd and long for the UTEP Minor offense.
Nip coming untouched on that play to make the tackle for loss on Wadley. It's 2nd 11 and showing blitz again. Nip nearly coming through, and he's going to miss the tackle there on Loxley. Loxley is trying to be patient, find his opportunity, but really nowhere to go, and is going to end up losing another yard. So it'll be 3rd and 12 as Loxley just really nowhere to go on that play.
Well, 2nd play in a row, we see the exact same field blitz by New Mexico State. That's going to be interesting moving forward here in this game, watching this defense, if they're going to keep that type of pressure on these gun zone reads by Kai Loxley. He's been able to break out a few times that we've already seen here early on in this game. If that's something that could be effective for the defense, let's see if they stick with it.
Trips to the bottom of your screen. Loxley in the gun, looking over to the sideline for the play call from his offensive coordinator, Mike Canales. Nip showing blitz. UTEP picks it up. Loxley looking deep down the field, and he's got a man. It's Warren Reddix, and too much on that one. There is a flag in the New Mexico State secondary, so we'll check on the penalty flag there as Loxley couldn't hit Reddix. And we'll see what the penalty is.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 7, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So another instance where New Mexico State is able to stop UTEP on a 3rd down, but a penalty is going to cost them a 1st down.
Well, it's the second time we've seen it here today, giving the UTEP offense a little bit more life. And the last time we saw that, UTEP moved on down the field and got a field goal out of it. Missed an opportunity at a big play down the sideline there. You know, if you hit that, you can decline the penalty and take the yardage, but a 1st down either way is good for this team.
It was Ferguson who was called for the face mask there as the give goes to Wadley. Wadley able to break a tackle and turns a loss of 2 into a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7 for this UTEP offense, but definitely uncharacteristic penalty there from Ferguson as Wadley will check out.
Well, one of the things that's hurt this New Mexico State defense and team overall, just like you said last week, was the penalties. You can't beat yourself, and in games like this, when they're going to be tight and nitty-gritty all the way down to the end, you beat yourself, you give the other team the advantage. You don't want to do that.
Also, New Mexico State saw them turn over the ball 5 times in that game as Loxley calls his own number, and he's going to move the chains for this UTEP offense. So the offense looking good under the direction of junior college transfer Kai Loxley. 4 of 5 for 58 yards in the early going, and that 7-yard rush takes him over 80 yards rushing, 11 carries for 81 yards in the touchdown. It's going to be Dimmel. It's Dimmel to the bottom of your screen, now puts him in motion. A little more RPO action as Loxley looking deep over the middle, and he's got his man. It's Winston Dimmel. UTEP has wanted to get this guy more involved in the offense. He's a 3-time All-Big 12 selection, and Winston Dimmel able to come up with a big reception there from Kai Loxley.
Well, it looks like a big play. Great effort right here by Kai Loxley to sit back, move with the pressure, make a good accurate throw to Dimmel right there. Big play for 25 yards, and that's another big play for the UTEP offense. On their last drive, they had the 43-yard completion down the sideline, which was their biggest play of the season thus far.
Loxley is now going to give it to Quadres Wadley, and Wadley able to push his way forward for a gain of 3 yards. As this UTEP offense threatening here at the 21-yard line, maybe the 22-yard line. They've been effective in the red zone as you got a 2nd and 6 with, once again, Wadley and it's Forrest McKee in the backfield. Loxley looking, and he's going to skip one to his intended receiver, looking for Warren Reddix. Seems like he's had Warren Reddix on a couple plays, and those two guys just can't seem to find their rhythm.
Well, they're a little bit off. He had his guy open. It's man-to-man coverage on the outside. An inside slant, that's one of the guys you got to take advantage of. Pick up quick, easy yards on quick passes. You don't have to worry about too much protection up front when the quarterback's getting the ball out of his hands quickly. And it's just those type of plays that are going to help your offense move down the field and keep you in either a 3rd and short opportunity for a 1st down or even pick up the 1st down on that last play.
It was Coffey on the coverage as you got trips to the short side of the field. It's going to be Loxley calling his own number, and Loxley's got some room. He's out across the 10 and has just tripped up. Forward momentum's going to take him down to the 5-yard line. As Loxley already nearing 100 yards rushing in this first half, and we said at the top of the broadcast, he can hurt you through the air, especially with the play-action pass, but he's done most of his damage so far this season on the ground. Good-looking pick there of 14 yards to set up a 1st and goal for UTEP.
If they can cap off this drive right here with a touchdown, I think they're going to be pretty much even with their total offensive output on average for the first three games of the season so far.
Loxley nearly loses the snap, and Dimmel does lose the football. It's a loose ball, and it looks like New Mexico State is on it. It was a high snap. You got a penalty flag down too, so a lot happening on that play, but the snap nearly went over the head of Loxley, probably disrupted the exchange there to Winston Dimmel, and New Mexico State comes up with the football. Let's check the penalty marker, but it looks like it may have came at the end of that play.
It's unfortunate for UTEP here to have a great drive moving forward. Let's see what the penalty is.
Eddie Shelton, your referee.
Rolling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 68 of the offense. That's a 15-yard penalty. Number 68's first unsportsmanlike conduct.
That was Zuri Henry called for the personal foul penalty. Here you go, the high snap. And really there was no exchange there at all, Trevor.
There was no exchange there, and that's one thing you don't want to do offensively is you don't want to make a bad play worse, but it looked like to me that they may have still been able to get the exchange, and I think the defender just got his hand on the ball and knocked it out. Unfortunately for Dimmel, he didn't have it covered up good enough to protect the ball down in the red zone where we're at.
That snap so far over the head, it looked like both Dimmel as well as Loxley, they both went up for it. It's a turnover for UTEP, and New Mexico State will look to capitalize as Atkins steps up in the pocket and is going to call his own number. Has a gain of 3.
New Mexico State has all 3 of their timeouts right here. Let's see their clock management efforts right here before halftime. The game's tied at 10. They do have an opportunity to get across the field and try and take the lead before halftime. This is big for a redshirt freshman to prove that he has the poise at the end of the quarter.
Atkins looking and is flushed to his right and is just going to take it, see if he's marked out of bounds or inbounds. He is out of bounds, so the clock will stop with 1:16 remaining in the first half. Not much doing there for Atkins. You see a lot of young quarterbacks. They're looking at their progression. They got 1 read, maybe you got 2 reads, and already you saw Atkins just taking off on that play.
Well, you definitely have a clock going in your head. Regardless of how many reads you have per play, you've got to have a feeling of when you need to get the ball out of your hands.
Atkins looking to his sideline, and he's got the completion there to Jonathan Boone. It's a first down. The clock will stop with 1:11 to go in the half. Good looking connection there from Atkins to Jonathan Boone. It's going to give the Aggies a fresh set of downs as the clock winds. Atkins has the snap, looking to his left, and got another completion there to Muse. Short pickup of 3, but the completion to Muse, he gets out of bounds, and it stops the clock with just under a minute to play in the half now.
They were kind of lucky right here. You want to be careful with those reads like that. They ran a concept right here that was very short-based routes by the receivers, and he read from the right side of the field all the way back to the left. You want to
UTEP showing blitz, and they're going to get to the quarterback, and the ball is loose. Who is on it? The ball is still loose, and it looks like UTEP is on it. A big turnover there at the end of the half.
Rolling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense.
UTEP coming up with the turnover. They showed an all-out blitz, and UTEP gets to the quarterback. More so unevaded to the quarterback. It was A.J. Hodgkins coming out of the linebacker position on the all-out blitz. He gets to the quarterback, and UTEP is on the football, and these two teams trading turnovers now.
And A.J. Hodgkins has had a very good start to his season, amassing double-digit tackles in 2 of the 3 games thus far. And transferring over from Oregon, a graduate student, he definitely has one thing in mind, and that's coming here to help this team win and do the best that he can to finish his graduate program and make plays while he's here.
So let's see if UTEP can capitalize on the turnover. 1 timeout, 53 seconds remaining as Loxley is going to be flushed to his right, and he's in trouble, and he's going to go down. He loses the football. Ball is still loose, and then it's recovered by New Mexico State. And check this out. It's Denzel Chukukelu going all the way the other way for the touchdown. New Mexico State. Denzel Chukukelu on the football. It was loose. It seemed like forever, and he takes it the other way for a New Mexico State touchdown.
Rolling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense, returned for a touchdown.
There you heard it.
Mixed up there. It's Malik Demby on the return there for New Mexico State. We see 3 fumbles, turned over here right at the end of the first half, and New Mexico State makes the most of their opportunity to create a turnover. And Kai Loxley, that's one thing you've got to do. I was just saying that earlier. You got to have that internal clock in your head as a quarterback and know when you need to get the ball out of your hands. And unfortunately for him right here, he didn't see the guy, pressure from the back, created a turnover, and Demby scoops and scores for a long play right there for their defense to set them up an opportunity to go up 17-0 here at the end of the first half.
You're right, Malik Demby able to come up with the fumble recovery out of Chino High School as they look to get this play confirmed. From the booth, but how about New Mexico State? They began this game with a touchdown on special teams and now able to get in the end zone by way of a defensive touchdown. The second week in a row this Aggies defense is coming up with a defensive touchdown. Last week it was Terrell Hanks who had an interception and he took it back for the touchdown. Play is confirmed. And so they're going to kick an extra point in the UTEP sideline. Not happy about this one. Point after is up and good. So New Mexico State taking a 17-10 lead on the fumble by Kai Loxley, taken all the way back by Malik Demby for the touchdown. It was Cedric Wilcox forcing the fumble for New Mexico State, and he was the one who had the special teams, recovered that blocked punt for the touchdown. So a big first half for Cedric Wilcox.
Big change in momentum right here before halftime. We see 3 turnovers between both of these teams, all within about 30 to 40 seconds here at the end of the first half. And luckily, New Mexico State was able to capitalize on their opportunity here. Unfortunate for the UTEP Miners, thinking that you have an opportunity already in the opponent's side of the field to be able to go down and potentially put some points on the board. And Kai Loxley, like I said, has got to have that internal clock running in his head. And if he doesn't have anything there, run and try and pick up as many yards as you can or get rid of the ball and live to see another down. Don't make a bad play worse.
55 yards on the return there from Demby, as New Mexico State's just going to squib this down the field. Warren Reddix has it at his 22-yard line. Breaks a tackle out across the 40-yard line. Going to be tackled at the 46. So good-looking return there from Warren Reddix, who gives UTEP, who does have a timeout, 29 seconds left. Opportunity maybe here for at least a field goal, you'd imagine.
Well, you've got 29 seconds. You want to protect the ball. You want to try and get points. You've had a great return, right here before the half. And if you would have been tackled back closer to the 20, 25-yard line, you may just run the ball and see what you can get, see if you can get a big play to give yourself an opportunity to throw one down at the end zone here. But with a big return out to the 45-yard line, you can open up your playbook, throw a few things to the sidelines, try and stop the clock, and see if you can't pull out any points here right before the half.
Loxley has the snap. Looking to the sideline, but nowhere to go. And let's see if UTEP uses their timeout. They will, with 21 seconds
Timeout.
remaining
Offense.
in the
Third
first
and final
half.
of
It
the
was
half.
Cedric
3
Wilcox
seconds
who
remaining.
called his name a lot in this one. Able to come up with the stop there. Be a 30-second timeout for UTEP, their last one. So now no timeouts remaining for the Miners. You got 21 seconds, so now everything either has to be down the field, where if you get a first down, you're able to come up to the clock and stop the clock by spiking it, or it's got to be to the sidelines.
You've got 21 seconds. You've got a couple opportunities to get the ball. And like you said, here in the college football game, if you do get a first down, the clock does stop to be able to give the referees an opportunity to move the chains before they wind the clock down again. If you get a first down, hustle up to the line of scrimmage, try and spike it, give yourself an opportunity to set up for a couple extra plays before the time does run out.
2 receivers to the bottom of the screen, Don and Reddix. That's where Loxley is looking, and when I say looking, he doesn't have a lot of time to look on that one. That is Deshaunte Lloyd coming through from his defensive tackle position and coming up with the sack, and that's going to take us to the end of this first half. UTEP offense has put up 230 yards of total offense, but a couple miscues both on the special teams end as well as the offense has led to a couple opportunities for New Mexico State in this first half with a special teams touchdown, a defensive touchdown, and they have the halftime lead 17-10. Let's take a look at some of the first half highlights. It all started with a UTEP 3 and out and a block punt. Mitchell Crawford punting and had it blocked, and then it was Cedric Wilcox recovering it for a touchdown. Special teams can always play big dividends. Isn't that right, Trevor?
Definitely. You know, it's one of the aspects of the game that can make or break your team. And right here for New Mexico State, it was a great start for them. They came out, like you said, 3 and out on defense, and special teams coming out making a big play. That definitely is going to give your team a lot of momentum moving on in the game, that not even your offense has stepped on the field, but you're up 6 points by that block.
UTEP would respond with a touchdown of their own. It was Kai Loxley on the ensuing drive, able to take UTEP 75 yards. He was able to come up with his rushing touchdown, and seems like he's done really well in this game. Running the football, we expected that, but he's also thrown the ball really well.
Well, he has done really well running the ball. You know that coming into the game, they were going to give him opportunities to be able to run and show what he can do with his skill set that he has. And right now, he's over 80 yards passing, which almost is at his at UTEP's average for the season at just about 96 yards per game. So they've almost amassed that, and offensively, their total is just about as even with their season total thus far as well.
We welcome you back to the Sun Bowl, just about ready to get the second half underway in the Battle of I-10 with New Mexico State out in front 17-10. They will get the ball to start the second half as Jason Philly boots this one out and through the end zone, and New Mexico State will start the second half from their own 25-yard line. It's a New Mexico State offense that able to show some success running the football, especially with Christian Gibson. 5 carries for 89 yards in that first half. Aside from that, it's an offense that didn't have much success with redshirt freshman Josh Atkins, just 4 of 10 for 33 yards. This UTEP defense has hung tough.
Well, luckily for the New Mexico State Aggies, they had the touchdown on special teams and then a big play defensively to close out the first half for them as well, to give them the lead here to start the third quarter, and they get to double dip, score right before half, and get the ball back right after the half.
Atkins is going to give the ball here to Royce Caldwell. Caldwell bouncing it outside, and he is going to be met hard by the UTEP defense on that play. Justin Rogers coming up from the corner position to make the tackle.
Nice statement right there. He breaks the run on the outside, and Justin Rogers comes up for a big, powerful hit there on the outside, stops him for a second and long, getting him behind the chains to start the second half.
Atkins alone in the gun. Looking to his left, he's got Jason Huntley on the completion out across the 30-yard line. Out to the 32. It's going to set up a 3rd and 3 situation for this New Mexico State Aggies offense. 3rd downs in that first half, 4 of 7, so they've shown success on 3rd down. Let's see what they go with here. Atkins has the snap. Blitz is coming, able to get rid of the football, looking for Jonathan Boone on the play, and nowhere to go is Kayvon Beverly able to get in there and break up the pass.
Well, it was great coverage right there by Beverly. He was on his back. They run a quick slant route, trying to steal a few yards, just enough to get a first down, and Kalon gets his hands in there to knock it down and have a nice pass breakup for him and get this UTEP defense off the field and give their offense an opportunity to come out here early in the third quarter and, try and tie this game up.
So New Mexico State goes 3 and out as the kick is away. And Terry Janil will call fair catch with his heels at the 20-yard line, and that is where the UTEP offense is going to take over. A UTEP offense that had 230 total yards of offense in the opening half, 144 of those through the ground, and 85 of those came by way of the quarterback, Kyle Loxley, wearing number 1 out there. 15 carries for 85 yards and a touchdown. Also was efficient in the passing game, 5 of 7 for 86 yards in the opening half, but a costly fumble at the end of that first half is what has the New Mexico State Aggies out to a 7-point lead. Loxley On the read option, gives it to Quadras Wadley. Wadley has a big play and a first down for UTEP, 11 yards, and a good decision there by Loxley as you had the end coming free on that play. Gives the ball to Wadley and gets the first down.
Well, the defensive end here on the play was kind of lost in what Kai Loxley was going to do. A slow mesh between the quarterback and running back. He makes his decision late. Quadras Wadley has a wide open hole to pick up a first down on first down, which is great for this UTEP offense.
That was Cedric Wilcox from his end position. Had to defend two guys and couldn't do it. Showing blitz is this Aggies defense. Loxley is stepping up and he's going to be dumped on the play. Coming in from that blitz looks like is Demby, Malik Demby from the cornerback position. And Demby, we've called his name a lot. He had the defensive touchdown on that fumble recovery in the first half.
He's had a few big plays that have made impacts here in this game thus far. And defensive coordinator for New Mexico State, Frank Spaziani, has definitely gotten into this field pressure, which has gotten home a couple times here with UTEP, and they've got to make an adjustment to be able to pick that up.
Spaziani have coached the longtime head coach at Boston College, if you remember back in the day when Matt Ryan was the quarterback there. Of course, the quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons now is Loxley is going to give to Wadley, and Wadley be lucky if he even got back to the line of scrimmage. Shooting through and making the play there was Leon McQuaker.
Here they are behind the chains. It looks like a 3rd and 18 for this UTEP Miners offense. They've got to be able to give Kai Loxley time to let the receivers get down the field. So let's see if this offensive line with the 3 guys missing starters from this season, if they can do anything.
Loxley looking over to the sideline for the play call. Wadley will shift to his right on a 3rd and 18. Loxley has the snap. 4-man rush for New Mexico State, looking deep down the field. He's got Terry Janelle. Terry Janelle's going to make a move. He's out across the 50, and here we go. He's going to get a block, and he is going to go the distance. Terry Janelle for the UTEP touchdown. And that put UTEP in a position with an extra point to tie up this football game. What a play from Terry Janelle.
What a play for the UTEP Miners. Longest play of the season for these guys. What a great opportunity to come out. Their defense gets a 3 and out to start this second half. It only took less than a minute off of the clock, and UTEP comes out, makes the biggest play on offense for this team this season. Terry Janelle breaks away. Nice touchdown, and not to mention that is UTEP's first passing touchdown of this young football season. Great play right there to start this second half and bring some momentum back to UTEP Miners.
76 yards on the touchdown from Kai Loxley to Terry Janelle. The extra point from Jason Philly is up and good, and just like that, we are all tied at 17 with 12:02 remaining in the third quarter. We got a football game here at the Sun Bowl Stadium. Come on back with us. Well, we have ourselves a battle at the Battle of I-10. UTEP with the equalizer. It is 17-17 as Jason Philly's kick is going to go out through the end of the end zone. Huntley wants nothing to do with it. And New Mexico State's going to start at their own 25-yard line. But how about the play from Kai Loxley to Terry Janelle? 76 yards on the touchdown, and just like that, we got a tie ball game.
You said it, 76-yard passing touchdown for these UTEP Miners. We haven't heard that much this season thus far, and that being the first passing touchdown for Kai Loxley in his UTEP career, and first one for this team this season. They needed that to be able to open up this game, create a big play, try and bring some momentum, and New Mexico State has an opportunity to answer back right here.
As Atkins going to keep it himself, and he's got the corner out across the 30-yard line and is going to be tripped up by Nick Needham at the 31-yard line. So give him a gain of 6, and he'll set up 2nd and 4. We've seen Atkins keep it a couple different times on that read option play. As New Mexico State, they're going to hurry up to the line of scrimmage. That's Christian Gibson in the backfield. He's going to get the carry, and nowhere to go for Gibson. He's tackled short of the line to gain. He's going to set up a 3rd down.
3rd down and short, staying ahead of the chains, which is a good thing for this New Mexico State offense, and it really leaves the offensive play calling wide open and opportunities and different things that you can do here to try and convert this 1st down and move the chains. Makes it a whole lot easier on Josh Atkins to not have pressure and having to sit in the pocket all too long to be able to pick up his read, make a throw, make a completion, try and pick up the 1st down.
Atkins has two receivers to the bottom of your screen. That's the way he's looking. Now he's going to come back to the other side in his progression, and he's going to make a move and going to be tackled, looks like short of the first down. That's C.J. Reese, the transfer from Kansas State, who's able to make the stop on Atkins. He's close to the first down, but appears to be just short, and New Mexico State's going to send on the punting unit. So back-to-back drives for New Mexico State in this second half. They've gone 3 and out.
3 and out to start the second half. UTEP seems to have the momentum right here. And one thing that I've seen a couple times here from Josh Atkins, being a young quarterback, his reads are starting in the field and he's spanning all the way back across, which is holding him out from being able to make a quick decision.
Short punt is going to be fair caught by Terry Janelle at the 35-yard line. That is where UTEP is going to take over with 10:28 remaining in the third quarter. We are all tied at 17. Welcome back to the Sun Bowl Stadium, where UTEP is set to take over for their second possession in the second half as the give goes to Trayvon Hughes. Hughes following his blockers out across the 40-yard line. A good pickup on first down for UTEP. Trayvon Hughes had a nice looking first half, and he gets the first carry there at this second possession for UTEP in the second half.
They seem to be very efficient right now and using their zone reads out of their gun. And Kai Loxley getting majority of the carries here, but when he does offset and hand that ball off, UTEP seems to be doing a good job at picking up a good amount of yards to get themselves ahead of the chains.
Wadley has also been effective, 10 carries for 41 yards for him. And MSU showing blitz here. That's Janelle in motion to the top of your screen. The give is going to go to Wadley. Wadley is able to gash the defense out across the 50, inside the 45-yard line, as Wadley is able to come up with a good gainer. And another UTEP first down, their 15th of the football game.
These edge rushers are now paying a whole lot more attention to Kai Lox and keeping the ball. So going after him is leaving these running backs wide open to gash his defense up the middle.
Janelle once again in motion. Give again goes to Wadley. Wadley once again gashing the defense. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And UTEP continues to go to the rushing attack with the inside run. Wadley comes up with another good gain of 9. And it's going to be 2nd and 1 for the Miners offense once again in New Mexico State territory.
Well, great to see what Mike Canales is doing, the offensive coordinator for UTEP, is he's sticking to what's working. Don't go too much into your playbook if you don't need to.
Loxley, design run to him, and Loxley is going to be close to a first down. He's spotted right at the 30-yard line, and that's going to move the sticks.
Offensively, UTEP looks to be having the best showing that they've had all season thus far. Moving the ball on the ground very efficiently, averaging 7 yards a carry, here for UTEP.
Loxley is going to give to Hughes. Hughes breaks a couple tackles. Yeah, who wants to bring him down? It was Ron LaForce ended up making the tackle, but not after Trayvon Hughes able to break some tackles and pick up of 8 on the play.
Trayvon is a 237-pound running back, and he definitely runs with every bit of momentum moving forward, and it's not as easy to bring down a guy like that. And if he keeps his legs moving, he's a truckload.
Loxley has the snap. The give once again goes to Hughes, and this time Hughes is met right at the line of scrimmage. It was Ferguson coming up with the tackle from the seated position there. Just too much congestion there for Hughes to be able to bump that outside.
3rd and short right here. Expect to see another zone read. They've been doing this a lot, having a lot of success with it, and even the power run with the quarterback Kai Loxley. New Mexico State is stuffing the box right here.
Loxley is going to give. Nope. He's able to keep it himself, and he's tackled right at the marker You might get a measurement here. It's going to be close. And there you got the line judge signaling for a 4th down, so it's going to be 4th and what looks to be inches. And UTEP has the offense on the field. They're going to go for it.
They're trying to snap it quick before New Mexico State can get set. It looks like they're both ready.
Check out this full house formation. Loxley is under gun. He's going to sneak it. And I do think the push there from one of the upbacks does get him across the line to gain. Let's see where they spot it. The spot is right at the 20-yard line. It's going to be enough for a UTEP 1st down. A little bit of emotion coming out there from the quarterback.
Well, both teams line up here. Everyone knew what was coming, even everyone in the stadium. You had 11 guys on offense in the box. You had 11 guys on defense in the box. All you needed was 3 inches. They got just enough to move the chains, and now they have a red zone opportunity, 1st and 10 for the Miners.
Trips to the top of your screen. Loxley in the gun. Read option. The give is to Hughes, and Hughes is met right at the line of scrimmage by a host of New Mexico State defenders led by Roy Lopez there on that defensive front. So far, 8 plays, 45 yards on this drive from the UTEP offense. They scored on their first possession. A touchdown pass from Kyle Loxley to Terry Janelle. Looking to do something similar here in the red zone. Loxley shows pass, tucks it and runs, and it's going to be tripped up just short of the line of scrimmage. Might have just gotten back to the line of scrimmage, and now you got a 3rd and long situation, something that UTEP has been able to stay out of throughout most of this game, although that touchdown pass on the last drive to Janelle came in a 3rd and long situation as you got an injured Miner down on the field. Gerard Brooks down, and Brooks been battling injury for quite some time. As they're going to check out Brooks, and we're going to take a timeout. 5:14 remaining in the 3rd quarter. UTEP, New Mexico State tied at 17. 3rd and 11 for this UTEP offense. Kyle Loxley got a penalty marker down, is going to be tackled in the backfield. We're going to check the marker, but it's in that area. Usually you get an offensive holding call.
Holding, offense, number 68, 10-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
They're going to replay the down, so New Mexico State will take the penalty, back UTEP up 10 yards. It would have been 4th and long. Trevor, is this maybe a situation where Doug Martin trying to push them out of field goal range?
Well, that's exactly what he's trying to do here. You did have a good play defensively where you pick up the sack, but it's a much more manageable field goal for UTEP if he doesn't push them back. And here, they're in 3rd and extra long. You're in a much more tough situation to get a field goal. And if they have another negative play on offense, or New Mexico State does bust in here and back up UTEP, it's going to flip field position where UTEP's going to have to make a choice if they're going to punt it or go for a long field goal.
Interesting decision there by head coach of the Aggies, Doug Martin. The give is going to go to Hughes, and Hughes is met with authority there. Javon Ferguson along with Malik Demdy on the tackle. UTEP probably thinking the same thing you were, Trevor, and just try to get a couple yards back and attempt this field goal. So in all honesty, it does work out for Doug Martin. You push him back another 6 yards for this field goal attempt. So it's going to go from, let's see here, it'd be a 43-yard attempt for Jason Philly. Crawford the hold. Snap is good, hold is down, kick is up, and it is going to be just outside of the uprights, no good. And New Mexico State's defense comes up with the stop that they were looking for.
Well, I think the decision there to back them up on that penalty call instead of accepting it definitely had a big effect on that kick right there. If they would have been 10 yards closer, I think that one would have slipped inside the upright.
So Philly misses the field goal. UTEP comes up empty-handed on that drive, and we remain tied at 17. 4:07 remaining in the 3rd quarter, and you got New Mexico State's offense coming out, taking over on this possession. They have had 2 possessions in this second half, and they've gone 3 and out in both of them. Josh Adkins, the redshirt freshman at quarterback, trying to get this Aggies moving in the right direction. Play action. Atkins looking deep down the field, going to take a chance here, and nobody home. Jonathan Boone, the intended target, but he was well covered on the play.
Great defense by the safety here for UTEP, Kahani Smith, playing the deepest guy. Don't let the receiver get behind you when you're in zone coverage out there in safety. Great play by him. Josh Adkins taking a chance down the field for New Mexico State. He's got to have those opportunities come around to keep the defense honest and not just pressuring up front.
And you got the official there coming in stopping play because you saw New Mexico State substitute late there. Here comes the blitz. Josh Adkins going to step up into the blitz and look like, yeah, you got every flag in the officials. They look like Trace Mascoro comes up with a handful of face mask, and that's going to be the call. Every flag in these officials' arsenal.
Personal foul, face mask, 95 of the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So that's going to be 15 yards and a first down. UTEP coming with pressure here, and Atkins tried to slip away, and there you see Mascoro just threw a hand up, thought the pass was coming, ended up grabbing some face mask. So 1st and 10, ball at the 46-yard line of UTEP. And Atkins able to escape the pressure. Turns a negative play into a gain of 2.
It's a great job by Atkins right here. Don't make a bad play worse. UTEP gets some pressure on him. He's able to escape, get out, don't force the ball down the field, and pick up a couple yards, live to play another down. It was a great job by the redshirt freshman right there.
Seen a lot of man coverage with UTEP in this football game, daring the redshirt freshman to beat him. 5 of 13, just 41 yards in this football game. Just 3 points from this Aggies offense. The rest of the points coming by way of a defensive touchdown and a special teams touchdown in that first half as Atkins picks another couple up with his feet.
3rd and 5 right here. Playbook is pretty much wide open. They've had good opportunities earlier in this game to be able to run the ball, but it seems like they're trying to spread it out, get the ball out of his hands quickly, and spread this UTEP defense out and put pressure on those guys that have to cover these receivers who are capable of making big plays.
The crowd comes to life here on 3rd and 5, and UTEP is sending pressure. Pass is going to be complete to Jason Huntley. Huntley breaks the tackle, and he's going down the sideline. This guy can fly. Touchdown, New Mexico State. It was actually coming up with the play. It looked like Royce Caldwell. It's number 7, not number 1. Royce Caldwell breaking the tackle, and he goes the distance for the touchdown, New Mexico State.
Missed tackles for this UTEP defense has been a nemesis of theirs early on in this season. They've got to be able to wrap up, and that's a great play by New Mexico State right here in Caldwell to be able to catch the ball with a guy on his back, break a tackle, and have the burners that break away down the sideline not be caught from behind. Great play.
Royce Caldwell with the touchdown reception. Looked like number 1 Jason Huntley, but it was actually Royce Caldwell who was able to haul it in, and coverage on the play was by Justin Rogers there, and it looked like a situation where he was playing the man. If he would have saw the ball, really looked like he probably could have stepped in front of that one, took it the other way for 6.
That's what it looked like to me as well from where we're at here, Andy. And he had an opportunity, like you said, he was playing the receiver versus playing the ball. And in man-to-man coverage, especially when you have 5 receivers, you definitely have to keep your eyes on your man. But in that situation, he's running a quick flat route. You got to be able to see what the quarterback is doing after you make your initial read as a defensive back. Try and see the backfield. The ball was coming in his direction. He could have easily cut underneath that play and had a big momentum shift there and taken it the other way. Instead, Caldwell keeps his head on straight, makes the catch, and has the poise to break the tackle and break away.
Big play for this New Mexico State offense as they take advantage of the missed opportunity for UTEP missing the field goal, and you got a big point swing there, a 10-point swing there. UTEP trying to put up 3 points, and it ends up being New Mexico State the other way for a touchdown. There's the kick, and Janelle's going to field it right at the goal line, and he's coming out. Going to get to the 20-yard line, pushed out of bounds there. And the UTEP offense will take over. Having success moving the football, coming away with points was the problem on that last drive, the missed field goal. But they've moved the ball well with Kai Loxley at quarterback. He's got 162 yards through the air, 83 yards on the ground, couple of touchdowns. UTEP needed another one of those to get back in this football game.
Well, they've got another opportunity. They fell short. The holding penalty backed them out of field goal position last drive, and they have another opportunity here to push it down the field and answer to New Mexico State's touchdown. Looks like New Mexico State's lining up for another field blitz here off of the edge. Let's see what they do.
Give is going to go to Josh Fields. Josh Field has a give him 4, maybe 5 yards on the first down play. Sophomore out of El Paso, Texas, nearby Americas High School.
You're seeing a lot more guys from El Paso and the high school guys that are getting opportunities to stay at home and play for their hometown UTEP Miners. And some of these guys are great athletes that are making big plays for the team.
Loxley, quarterback for UTEP, comes from a football family. His dad, longtime head coach at New Mexico, is now the offensive coordinator, as that pass is going to be incomplete, nearly intercepted by this New Mexico State defense. Loxley, his dad is now the head coach. Mike Loxley was the head coach at New Mexico, is now the offensive coordinator at Alabama. So a guy that comes from a football family, a lot of QB moxie in that family.
Well, it helps a lot when you grow up inside of a home where your dad is a football coach and you get the inside of both sides of football, get a good understanding of what coaches are trying to achieve each game, week in and week out. And he gets great coaching at home from his dad, and someone that he can always look up to.
Big 3rd and 6 here for UTEP. Loxley looking to step up in the pocket, didn't have anywhere to go. The pass is completed to Reddix. Reddix is going to be close to a first down. It's right at the marker, and they're going to give him the spot. So UTEP able to come up with another 3rd down conversion and a fresh set of downs for the Miners.
Well, it was a great job by Josh Fields right there in the backfield to come across and pick up that late pressure that gives Kai Loxley just enough time to be able to scan back across the field and make a good throw to the outside. And great effort by Warren Reddix right there to hold on even with the tough hit coming in.
Loxley at quarterback. 2 receivers to the top of the screen. The give is going to go. Look that time to Fields, and Fields is stopped after a pickup of 2 or 3. And it looks like I stand corrected on that last touchdown for New Mexico State. It looks like it was to Jason Huntley. Hard to tell between the 7 and the 1, but I'm seeing 53-yard completion there from Atkins to Jason Huntley. So I was originally correct on that touchdown connection. Royce Caldwell and Jason Huntley both playing a big role in this New Mexico State offense, and the go-ahead score there going to Jason Huntley, giving the Aggies a 24-17 lead. UTEP trying to respond here in the 3rd quarter. Loxley has the completion. That's Warren Reddix. Reddix out across the 40-yard line. And you see this connection from Loxley to Reddix really starting to find their rhythm.
This offense is starting to jar here. They're getting a lot more efficient with their play calling and being really good about running the ball inside the tackles, making the short throws when they need to, get just enough to be able to move these chains and keep their offense on the field.
Wadley the carry. Wadley going to bounce it outside, has a block out across the 50-yard line, still going. Tackled in New Mexico State territory at the 42-yard line. So in the waning seconds of the 3rd quarter, UTEP has something cooking.
Well, what we're seeing out of New Mexico State is they have a lot more focus now here in the second half on trying to stop quarterback Kai Loxley. He was definitely gashing them early on in this game, and they've changed their game plan to where they're focusing on being able to stop him, which is giving these other running backs for UTEP opportunities at being able to break these longer runs and move the chains in 1st and 2nd down where they're not getting stuck in these 3rd down and long situations.
See the stoppage there. That was Shamad Lomax, New Mexico State defensive back, coming off the field. He's one of their top defensive backs. Let's see if maybe UTEP decides to go through the air and test him here. Nope, the give will go to Wadley. Wadley cutting his way through the New Mexico defense, and that's going to take us to the end of the third quarter, where we have ourselves a good one coming here in the fourth quarter. New Mexico State leading UTEP 24-17. Fourth quarter coming up next. Fourth quarter time here. It's the Sun Bowl with New Mexico State leading 24-17. UTEP driving into New Mexico State territory, have a 2nd and 4 from the 38-yard line. Loxley back to pass, has time, now going to be flushed to his left. See if he tries to keep it. He is going to lower his shoulder, and laying the boom there was Ferguson. And Loxley going to be short of the first down, sets up a third down.
Third down and short. They're just on the fringe of field goal position right here. They need to move the chains at least one more time to give themselves an opportunity to get points here. But here late in the game, New Mexico State up by 7. These guys need to find a way to get themselves in the end zone, put some pressure on this Mexico State team to have to make a difference here after this drive.
With the miss by Philly, you wonder if this is 4-down territory in this area of the field. The give is going to go to Wadley, and Wadley looks like he's short of the first down, so it's going to be decision time now for UTEP head coach Dana Dimmel, as well as Mike Canales, the offensive coordinator, and this offense. And it looks like the offense will in fact stay on the field and attempt a 4th down. So what do you do here if you're the UTEP offense?
Well, you stick with what you've been doing well. 4th and 1, your zone read has been working. Quadras Wadley's had a great game, and Kai Loxley's done a very good job reading those defensive ends. But New Mexico State's been bringing pressure off the edge. Look for them to do that here as well.
Loxley is going to give it to Wadley. Wadley, second effort, looks like it's going to get him the first down. Got hit right at the line of scrimmage by Coffey, and Wadley able to spin off of Coffey and dive forward. That second effort gives him the first down.
The second effort was huge for them. We've got a player injured down right here for New Mexico State. Number 41, Leon McQuaker. Have the training staff out here to check on him. He doesn't look like he's in a very good situation. Hopefully he's okay.
And we're going to take a timeout as they check on Leon McQuaker. New Mexico State leading 24-17. There's 13:38 remaining in this football game. Welcome back to the Sun Bowl. Quick snap there from Kai Loxley as he gives to Trayvon Hughes, who able to pick up 5 for this UTEP offense. And Hughes is going to be checking out here. In comes Winston Dimmel as well as Quadras Wadley. You also have Forrest McKee. McKee, an interesting story, native of Las Cruces, chose the UTEP Miners over the hometown New Mexico State Aggies. Loxley, designed run play, picks up a block, now looking to cut back and nowhere to go. Roy Lopez stopped that cut back in a hurry, and now you got some chippiness. This is an old rivalry, Trevor. These two teams don't like each other too much.
Well, you're going to get that with any type of rivalry. Guys that are going to be chipping back at each other, and you know they want to get the most out of their opponent. And with these two teams, El Paso and Las Cruces, like I said earlier in the broadcast, it's definitely going to give one of these teams bragging rights moving on all the way until next year when they meet again. So 24-17 here with 12 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Both of these teams are giving their best effort to try and win this game out and try and hold that silver spade and brass spittoon for a whole nother season.
Gonna get a timeout here from UTEP. Don't typically like to burn timeouts in the second half, but a big play here. You got a 3rd and 5 knocking on the doorstep of the red zone. We saw UTEP go for it last time on 4th down. They were able to convert. How much trust do you think Coach Dimmel has in his kicker, Jason Philly, who missed the 43-yard attempt last time out?
Well, you're going to have to trust in him if you need to kick the ball again here. 12 minutes and 15 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. You're in a position where you can get points with a field goal. And I think the previous 4th and 1, it was a much more attainable 4th down than here. If UTEP gets no yards on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 right here, it's going to be much harder for Coach Dimmel to make the decision to go for it on 4th and medium versus 4th and short.
Dana Dimmel longtime offensive coordinator at Kansas State in his first year with UTEP. Big third down for his team here. New Mexico State brings pressure. The throw's going to go to the outside, and a good-looking grab there by Winston Dimmel right at the sticks. It's going to depend on the spot here. You might even get a measurement. It's close. Nope, they're going to give him the spot. It's a first down for UTEP and another big third down conversion. They're sixth of the football game.
It was a great effort to catch that ball right there. It was really close. I kind of thought it could go either way. If it was a first down or a fourth and short, I thought they may have to bring the chains out there, but they give it to him, so let's see what they can do with it now.
23-yard line. Pressure coming. Wadley's going to get the carry, and he's going to cut back, and he's got room. Now looking to get back inside, and a good-looking gain there by Wadley, who, as you saw, made that cut right where pressure was coming from the outside, and that cutback gave him a whole lane to run and a pickup of about 12 on the play.
Well, these zone reads are getting a whole lot closer with the mesh and having to make his read to either hand it off or keep it. And Coach Spaziani at halftime has definitely made an adjustment to keep the ball out of Kyle Loxley's hands and make these other guys do the work for him.
UTEP back in the red zone looking for more points. Loxley changing the play at the line of scrimmage as Wadley will shift to his left. Kavika Johnson to the bottom of your screen. Snap coming early. Penalty flags all over the place. And looks like you're going to get a false start on the Miners.
False start. Offense, number 61. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
So back the Miners up 5 yards, and that's not what Coach Dimmel and Coach Canales want to see from this UTEP offense, especially after a nice play on first down.
Well, they've been consistently moving the ball down the field here this game, and they're definitely having their best offensive showing, and you can't get down here to the red zone and shoot yourself in the foot and go the opposite way.
The give goes to Wadley again, and Wadley's got some running room. Going to be depend on the spot here, and he's going to have enough for another UTEP first down. So Wadley getting the heavy workload here in this second half, and with that carry, he's up and over 100 yards.
They've been relying heavily here on their running game all this game so far. They got their first passing touchdown of the season. Let's see if they switch it up and catch New Mexico State off balance with a play-action pass.
New Mexico State showing blitz. The give goes to Wadley again. Ferguson coming up with the tackle along with Roy Lopez, but not before Wadley bullies his way for another 3. And set up second and a long 7. A short 8 as Wadley will check out. Trayvon Hughes coming back into the game. Quadres Wadley, 19 carries, 108 yards. Trayvon Hughes has 56 yards on the ground.
You got David Lucero lined up in the slot right here. Big body tight end. Good opportunity to try and get him the ball.
Loxley has the snap. The give is to Trayvon Hughes. Hughes is stood up by Javon Ferguson. Another short pickup for the Miners, going to set up a third down.
Here we are, 3rd and 6. Down here close to the end zone. You're getting down late in the game. Definitely have a field goal in your back pocket right here, assuming that he makes this kick after missing the last one. But you definitely want to try and capitalize being this close. You don't know how many other opportunities you're going to have inside your opponent's 10-yard line late in the game right here. Rivalry game, you're down by 7. You need a touchdown.
New Mexico State showing pressure once again. Let's see if they come. They do. They blitz 7. Loxley has nowhere to go, and he is sacked. Cedric Wilcox called his name plenty today. Also got some help there from Javon Ferguson. They come up with the sack, and UTEP is going to be forced to send on the kicking unit.
Well, a great scheme right here by New Mexico State. They brought one extra guy that UTEP couldn't pick up in protection. So it was unfortunate for them. Great for New Mexico State to get in there, hold in on defense, get a late stop here to force another field goal. Let's see if Philly can put this one through the uprights.
It'll be a 34-yard try for Jason Philly. The snap is good, hold is down, kick is up, and this one is through the uprights. So UTEP not able to come up with the 6 points like they had hoped, but they do tack on a field goal to cut the New Mexico State lead to 4. The Aggies leading 24-20 with 8:20 remaining in the fourth quarter. Jason Huntley is going to have a chance to return this kickoff, looking to gain the edge, and doesn't do so. Going to be tackled at the 19-yard line, and that's where New Mexico State is going to take over with another possession in the second half. They got a big touchdown pass from Josh Atkins, and they went back and changed this, Trevor. Now once again, as we originally thought, was Royce Caldwell, number 7, who came up with that touchdown pass reception, I should say, not Jason Huntley, but both of those guys, Huntley and Caldwell, have done some damage from the running back position for the Aggies.
Well, that play really has set New Mexico State apart here in the second half. You take that play away, they really haven't had many opportunities.
It's going to be Huntley on the carry, and Huntley dragging some defenders with him on his way to a pickup of 6 or 7, and he comes up a little lame.
Well, this UTEP defense definitely should have some energy coming back out here. They had enough time to sit and wait and recover here after this last drive of UTEP. It was a 19-play drive for just over 9 minutes.
Give there goes to Christian Gibson, and Gibson's still going. You got just about everyone there pushing on the pile, and New Mexico State got the bigger push, and they got a fresh set of downs on the carry by Gibson. As we are inside 8 minutes to play in this rivalry game, the 96th edition of the Battle of I-10, and Atkins is going to keep it and pick up 2 on the play. This New Mexico State offense has had trouble moving the football, 255 yards of total offense compared to UTEP's 427, but it's been the big play on special teams as well as defense that had the Aggies out in front. As we're near the 7-minute mark, Atkins is going to give it to Gibson. Gibson has the edge and ducks underneath the tackle there of Needham and is down to the 47-yard line.
Holding.
Got a flag here on the
Offense,
play.
number 21, 10-yard penalty, replay second down.
As we take a look what Josh Atkins has done, remember this is his first collegiate start. Saw some time against Utah State, saw some time as well as last week against New Mexico. So far in this game, 6 of 14 for 94 yards and a touchdown. He's also carried the ball 10 times for 19 yards, so has done some good things and some bad things in his first collegiate start, but he has the Aggies in position to win this football game. Play action, looking to take a shot deep down the field, and he's got a man. It's Jonathan Boone who hauls in the reception, and the Aggies threatening inside UTEP territory. That's Atkins to Boone for the big pickup.
Well, what they're able to do right here is they flipped field position now. They're just on the fringe of field goal position. That was a big play here with just over 6 minutes left to go. You got to run a 4-minute style offense right here. You want to take as much time off of the play clock. You're leading by 4. UTEP needs a touchdown to even have a chance to win this game. Take your time on offense. Take what the defense is giving you and make the plays.
Looking over the middle, and he's got his big tight end. And when I mean big, I do mean big. The reception there hauled in by Bryce Roberts. And it's another Aggies first down. And you see this offense starting to pick up the tempo a little bit. They're starting to gain some rhythm with Atkins at quarterback as he's starting to settle in. You got trips to the bottom of your screen. Inside 6 minutes to play. New Mexico State with a 4-point lead. Looking to come away with this drive in the red zone with 6. Atkins looking, throwing, has his man. Going to be completed just short of the first down marker. That is Shea Holbrook with the reception.
Josh Atkins is having a very efficient game right now. You know, he's missed a few throws early on in the game, but he's definitely settled in. He's making his reads. He's making the throws when and where he needs to. He has his team in a position right now to capitalize and potentially go up by 2 possessions.
Give goes to Christian Gibson. Gibson's met right about the line of scrimmage on a 2nd and 2 play. Let's see if he's able to He's going to be marked just short of the first down, so it's going to set up a third down, and if you're UTEP, you got to have a stop here.
You got to have a stop. New Mexico State, if you can hold them here, as far as UTEP, force them to kick a field goal, you're still in this game.
Give is to Gibson, and Gibson has the first down.
Now this UTEP defense, they've been on this possession, but they can't break. They've got to hold this New Mexico State offense out of the end zone. There was questions earlier for some people if kicking a field goal in that situation for UTEP was the right thing to do. And coming down to the situation right now, there's just about 5 minutes left here in the quarter. If UTEP's defense can force a field goal by New Mexico State, you're only down by a touchdown. So that field goal could potentially help UTEP.
24-20 as we have an injury timeout.
Mexico State hasn't won back-to-back since.
Here and deep in the UTEP red zone, New Mexico State threatening to score here with 5:03 remaining in the fourth quarter and can seemingly put this game away. Atkins is the quarterback, looking to throw the fade pattern, and lots of contact there in the end zone and flags all over the play. Kayvon Beverly is going to be called for pass interference on the play. The coverage there on Shea Holbrook. A lot of back and forth action on both Holbrook as well as Beverly, but Beverly had his back to the football.
Pass interference, defense, number 1. Foul occurred in the end zone. Ball we placed on the 1 yard line, automatic first down. 2 yard line, automatic first down.
So a difficult situation here now for UTEP. Going to be first and goal from the 2.
Can they make a goal line stand?
Christian Gibson, the running back, and Atkins is going to keep it, and Atkins is met in the backfield. He's got nowhere to go. How about that? The UTEP defense, Kahani Smith coming up from his defensive back position, making a play in the backfield on Atkins.
They've got to make a stop right here. There's not much time left in this game for 2 possessions to be behind. And New Mexico State pushing for their first back-to-back win in this series since the 2007-2008 campaigns. And UTEP needs to blow up right here if they want to try and switch that over.
4-point lead for the Aggies as they take this clock down to 4:10 and counting. Atkins has the snap, looking in the flat, doesn't have Royce Caldwell, now he's going to look to run it, and he's going to be met at the 5 yard line, and it's going to set up another third down.
I think that's a great decision right here at the quarterback position, and Josh Atkins being a young quarterback, starting his first game in this rivalry and scrambling out. You know you're down here late. You have an opportunity to try and push the envelope and try and seal this win. Good thing he didn't try and force any play right here and just go down, live to see another down, and see what you can do.
Third and goal, Atkins looking to throw the fade up top to Anthony Muse. Some contact there, but the throw goes over the head of Muse. Somehow, some way, this UTEP defense comes up with a stop in a situation where it was first and goal from the 2. Atkins wanted the penalty flag. You see Doug Martin there on the sideline. He's screaming at the official. He wants the penalty marker. They don't get one, and the Aggies are going to be forced to send on the kicking unit. So the try will come from Dylan Brown. A chip shot field goal attempt for Brown. Kick is up and it is good, and that extends the New Mexico State lead now to 7. So UTEP will need a touchdown on the other end of things with just 3:24 remaining. It's the Aggies leading the Miners 27-20. Welcome Welcome back to the Sun Bowl Stadium. Andy Morgan alongside Trevor Vidito, where we have ourselves a football game. New Mexico State leading 27-20 as this kick goes to Terry Janelle. Going to be down in the end zone for a touchback. Janelle had the big touchdown reception for the Miners, a 76-yard touchdown reception, the first of his career, and it was a big one. And UTEP, really anything in the playbook goes here, Trevor. You got 2 timeouts, 3:24 remaining. This is a team that's ran the football really well. How about 246 yards of rushing, the most rushing yards since that game against North Texas back in November of 2016. Also happens to be their last win in 2016. It was a game Aaron Jones broke the all-time rushing record.
Well, he had a big game back there in 2016, and he amassed over 300 yards rushing. He set the single-season rushing record for the UTEP Miners, and here we are at the end of the fourth quarter for UTEP. Let's see what kind of efficiency they can have. They've got more than enough time to work their way down the field. Your playbook is still wide open. You don't have to revert just to throwing the ball. You can still be efficient running your zone reads, have your run-pass options available, but you've got to capitalize when you have open receivers to be able to hit them.
Wadley picking up 3, Ron LaForce on the tackle. Inside 3 minutes to play. Could be UTEP's last shot on offense. You got trips to the bottom of your screen, Loxley in the gun. NMSU showing pressure. You're going to blitz 5. Loxley calls his own number, and he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage and then pushed backwards by Javon Ferguson. UTEP's going to be forced with a 3rd down, and it looks like you got a Miner slow to get up on that offensive line. Looked like it might have been, let's see, or maybe Ruben Guerra. In the event, they're going to come check on him. The Aggies with a 7-point lead. 2:26 remaining. You got a 3rd and 5. Kai Loxley has had some effectiveness, both throwing the football, 9 of 12, 181 yards. Also has 80 yards rushing. 3rd and 5 here, Trevor, and might be in a situation where this is 4-down territory. So what do you do on 3rd and 5?
Well, on 3rd and 5, you want to be able to pick up as many of these yards as possible to give yourself an opportunity on 4th and short. I think with the amount of time that you have left and only having 2 timeouts, the clock is not in your favor right now. You need to pick up a 1st down. If not, get as close to 4th and short as possible to give yourself an easier chance on 4th down to be able to convert. And Kai Loxley has really been bottled up here in the second half if you consider the type of efficient running that he had in the first half and being able to break a few tackles and get some big runs. But this New Mexico State defense has bowed up and said that Loxley's not going to beat us with his legs. He's going to have to beat us with his arms. So here's a good opportunity to show that he can move the ball down the field that way as well.
Big 3rd and 5 for UTEP. 2 receivers to each side of Loxley, trying to draw the Aggies off sides, and they're not biting. Inside 2:15 to play as Loxley changes the play, and now you have to assume this is no doubt 4-down territory for the Miners. Let's see what they call here on 3rd and 5. Loxley has a snap, looking to throw. Aggies bringing pressure, going to take a shot deep down the field, and nobody, and when I say nobody home for the Miners.
There's a penalty down in the backfield. Let's see if it's a holding or possibly a roughing the passer.
Holding. Offense, number 61. Penalties declined. Brings up 4th down.
We've mentioned throughout this broadcast, head coach Doug Martin picking and choosing which penalties he accepts, he declines, he ends up declining this one. And his team here, the Aggies, can seemingly win it with a 4th down stop. See what head coach Dana Dimmel and this UTEP offense tries to come up with. Wadley, the running back.
You've got to get creative. Can't beat yourself. You have to hold up strong up front. Just enough time to be able to get the ball off.
Loxley has the snap. Protection is good. He's got the completion to Keenan Foster, and just like that, UTEP has a fresh set of downs. Keenan Foster coming up with the reception as UTEP hurries up to the line. Breathes
a little bit of life back into this team and back into this Sun Bowl Stadium with the fans who were unsure of what was going to happen.
So a big 1st down with inside 2 minutes to play. UTEP making some substitutions late here as Weeks comes off the field. Terry Janelle going to line up to the other side, and if you're UTEP, got to show a little bit of a sense of urgency. That's Lucero in motion. Now it's Junil back the other way. 1:25 to play. Play action, lots of pressure on Loxley, and Loxley has nowhere to go with the football, just flips that one out of bounds. Let's see, was he outside of the pocket?
Well, he was outside of the pocket, but he didn't get the ball back to the line of scrimmage. That essentially should be intentional grounding.
Offense, number 1. Ball did not reach the line of scrimmage. Lost it down, spotted the foul, second down.
I like the way that Kai Loxley was thinking right here to try and get the ball out of his hands and not take a sack, because late in these games like this, taking a sack as a quarterback is a big negative on the scorecard each week. And try to get the ball out. He just unfortunately didn't get back to the line of scrimmage, so they lose the down, they lose the yardage. Now they're in a second down, and it looks like a 19 from where we're at, putting a lot more pressure on this team.
On the bright side, it did stop the clock with 1:17 to play. Loxley facing a 4-man rush, and the pass is going to be dropped there by Terry Janelle. Loxley had time and delivered a bullet to Janelle, but he couldn't hang on.
Third down and extra long right here. You have your third down periods later in the week of practice each week, and you work on these things like this. 3rd and 19, you don't have a lot of plays that you can lean on to be able to pick up the full amount. You may have an opportunity to catch New Mexico State's defense sleeping, but right now their front four defensively have been getting pressure up front without having to blitz anybody. So this offensive line needs to give him time to be able to get the ball out, pick up at least half of these yards right here to make a manageable 4th down.
Loxley has the snap. Here comes the New Mexico State pressure. Loxley trying to step out of it, and Javon Ferguson is going to dump Kai Loxley in the backfield. UTEP's going to be forced to take one of their 2 remaining timeouts with 1:03 to play, and it sets up a 4th and forever.
4th and super long. No plays in your playbook that are dedicated to making up a 4th down and 26 right here, but no option for the UTEP Miners. They've got a minute left. They've only got 1 timeout. This game is coming down to this one last play of offense right here. If they can pick this up, it's going to be a miracle for them, but crazier things have happened. As long as there's time on the clock, you never know what can happen.
You surprised that New Mexico State decided to dial up the blitz here? I mean, UTEP hasn't really been able to protect it. It seems like when they had brought pressure.
New Mexico State's defense has just been wearing down this offensive line, bringing different looks up front. They bring a lot of edge pressure from the field, but that time they brought the house to put pressure on Kai Loxley. They brought 1 extra defender that UTEP was unable to be able to pick up in protection, and now they're set back 4th and 26. Only thing you can do is go for it, hope for a miracle, see if you can pick something up. And offensively, if you catch the ball and you're short of the yards to gain, you've got to, at this point, I would say try and pitch it back and create a couple laterals to try and keep the play alive to give yourself a chance.
4th and 26. You have to imagine the ball is going to go to the middle of the field, but you got to get enough for the 1st down. Loxley facing a 4-man pressure, and Aggies getting some pressure on him anyways. Loxley taking the shot, ball is tipped, and it's going to be picked up, and New Mexico State is going to win this football game. The interception there coming from Austin Perkins. Perkins runs it out of bounds, and that just about does it. New Mexico State coming up with a big stop there on 4th down.
It's about all you could do as UTEP. New Mexico State gets pressure up front with only 4 guys. Loxley stands in there in the pocket. You've got to push the ball down the field, give your guy an opportunity to catch the ball, and New Mexico State comes up with a nice tipped pass, a good interception, pretty much seals the envelope to this one here. A couple of kneel downs with UTEP only having 1 timeout left in this game pretty much sums it up.
So for New Mexico State, they come into this game at 0-4 after making their first bowl appearance and bowl win in 57 years last year. Finished the season 7-6. They look to come away with a win here in the Battle of I-10. As Trevor mentioned, it'll be their 2nd consecutive win over the Miners. First time they've been able to do that since the 2007-2008 season. There is the 2nd kneel down.
And that's going to be it. The last 20 seconds are going to run off the clock, and The win for New Mexico State today is actually marking the 8th time that New Mexico State has picked up their first win of the football season against their crosstown rival in the UTEP Miners at the Battle of I-10. And for New Mexico State, they still have an opportunity to potentially make a run at it through the end of this season to make it to another bowl. They're 1-4 right now moving forward. UTEP 0-4 going forward. They have 8 games left. One of these teams is going to have to push their best if they want to make it into the postseason.
For UTEP, they will travel on the road in a matchup with UTSA, and for New Mexico State, they get the much-needed bye week. They played a 0-week game against Wyoming, so they've played 5 straight, and they get the win here today, 27-20, improving their record to 1-4 as the UTEP Miners drop to 0-3. So for Trevor Vidito, I am Andy Morgan saying so long from the Sun Bowl Stadium, where the final score, the New Mexico State Aggies 27, the UTEP Miners 20.